good song. I'll share it. Hello, welcome to my tube, my tiny little tube. My name is Margie. I'm Hayok Empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things, and boy, is it hitting the fan, y'all. It's happening. All the stuff people have been talking about. Here we go, y'all. Here we go. I posted on my community part of the page today an incident I had. I noticed right off the bat it was 1 minute and 11 seconds long. That clip that I posted. There was a shootout in Taos. I went in town. I'm like, I'm gonna go in. First of all, I didn't have enough energy to even get out of, well, now, I make it sound one way, but the reality of it is kind of different. When I say I couldn't get out of bed until noon, that means I had already gotten up at 6. Fed dogs, water dogs, let dogs out, walk around, fed mom, walk around mom, went, did 2 sets, weed whacked. I did other stuff, and then like about 10:30, 11, I go and laid, I had to go, I'm like, my energy was completely depleted, and I needed to go lie down, and then when I did that, I didn't get up until like noon, and I started listening to music that was higher vibrational and started dancing around, and I took a nice shower, listened to some Lady Duchovny talks today, got epiphanies like crazy, man. Whoa, it was a wild day. So let's get started. So I go into town. I wanted to get water, fill up the water bucket, because we don't drink city water. We drink it filtered and all that stuff. So, and what happened was, let me change the song because it's not really going with my mind vibe right now. That's better. So I just wanted to get water. I felt like I didn't want to go anywhere, and I don't like being ruled by my emotions and feelings. So if I'm adamant about something, I'm going to do the opposite. It's just what I do. Come on, Benny. Watch out, Artie. Watch out. Good boy. Go lay down. Come on, Benny. Come on, Benny. Everybody wants their spots. Come on. Good boy. Come on. People don't realize that when the energies are this freaking you gotta be mindful about your animals, your critters too, man. What do you want? You want a drink of water? Good boy. Here, your water. I'm in your way? Excuse me. Here, let me fill it up for you. You want thirsty firsties? Go, Benny. Good boy. He said, Margie, been in the hydration station, Margie. Good boy, Benny. Good boy. A gallon of water weighs 8 pounds. Let me just fill this thing up quick because I'm really thirsty. All these fans on dry me out a lot. You know it, Ma? So and when I get thirsty, I'm like, all right, Mom, you got to drink water too. The landlady's out staying at her son's house, so her other son hopefully will be less of a dipshit with her proximity. Let's hope so. So here, I'll just play it quick here. You guys won't be able to hear it. I'm yelling and cussing at the cars in front of me. People just, well, see, as I interpret it, I've had so much trauma in my life that when something traumatic happens, I'm in like, let's do this. You know it? That's where my mind, let's handle this. You know, I know what the outcome needs to be, and usually my mind in an instant will map out what needs to happen. It's everyday instances when I deal with regular people, that's when I'm like, what do I even do with you? I don't even know how to comprehend what, you know. And most people are the opposite. They don't. Get out of the bathroom. You have no reason, ever. Never. And other people are the opposite. They can navigate around Earth people, and then when something emergical happens, their fucking butt just tightens up and their head goes straight up their fucking ass, and they don't even know how to like listen to instructions. They don't know what to do. And that was very evident today in my experience. This was right after I must have missed the shooting by minutes because it happened at 2:30. Let me see what time my camera, or the newspaper said it happened at 2:30. I was going to go get water, and then when I went to the water house, it was at 2:41. So this was the corner of like by Smith. Fucking stupid bullshit. There's a heavy police presence. God damn it. This is a new one. I could do it on my other one. Here. I think I got it. Stop. I don't like technology. At all. Where's my rewind? There it is. It's a heavy police presence in Taos. Now this red car in front of me, okay, what's happening, a little narrative here, is the red car in front, okay, the ambulance, hold on a second. When I turn that around, that ambulance back there is going to come up behind us. So we need to go through the light. Now these people are fucking retarded. The light is red, okay, the light's red. Now, and nobody's going. We got this guy, state trooper, guiding traffic up here. And he's telling us to go because the ambulance is coming. He's coming up behind me, and I'm telling the guy in front of me, go, dude, andale, vámonos, go, because they're going to take a right. And the guy was like, it's like he couldn't comprehend because he's so programmed. The light's red. I can't go. The policeman's going to give me a ticket if I go with the lights red. And the policeman is telling you, get out of the way. And it's going to be more of this as the temperatures raise and people get more crabby, as the degrees of cancer move, tick, 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 you know, tick tock. World's a time bomb, man. It's a matter of like, you know, I was talking to the young lady at the grocery store. I'm so happy I found this t-shirt. I got it in Tulum, Mexico. I thought it got lost forever. Awakening to a new era. That's when it began for me. Sure as shit. Anyway. Went on a cruise to Tulum. That was a 3D thing I did. I'm glad I did. I got all the energetics from that, from all times, future, present, past. That was an interesting trip. That was a trippy trip. So everybody gets their taste. Everybody's gonna get their chance. My pal, I got to be a friend today. You know, every opportunity I get a chance to be a positive in somebody's life instead of somebody that leaves a bad taste in somebody's mouth, because I'm sure there's a handful of people that I crossed their mind today and I left a bad taste in their mouth. And if there's something I can do to make that right, oh, you know, if I feel like it, I will. I mean, let's be real. So, because they had that whole area blocked off at the that was right around the grocery store, and that's the second time in less than 4 months that there's been some dude got shot point blank in the face. Somebody called him up, walked him up to say, hey, you come here to this Escalade, and he walked up to this Escalade and they freaking unloaded in front of him and he dropped right there. And then it was like traumatic because it was still icy and snowy out. And then, like, nobody came out to clean it up, so it was blood stained, and there's like these, and then the sun came out, and then it started melting, and so it's like blood stain and snow melt, and people were like traumatized going to do their Sunday morning march, because it was like, your office needs to clean it up. No, you need to clean it up. You know, I'm like, fucking clean up in the parking lot, grab some products, you know, I mean, people just don't know how to think. It is fucking trippy to me. So I had to go to Albertsons. I went to Albertsons twice when I first moved here, and I'm like, but it's not always about me. And I had to do shopping for my buddy. And so I was up for the task. I was like, I had all this energy. I was ready to do it. And I went to the store and bought a lot, 40 Roma tomatoes, 20 purple onions, 8 cans of, I mean, when you buy for a restaurant, it's a different kind of an experience. It's something I always wanted to do. Because I liked working in restaurants. I worked at Chevy's. I'm pretty versed. I wanted to be a chef. I wanted to go to chef school out of high school. I wanted to go to the Chicago Institute of Art. I was never smart enough. We didn't have the money. It was like a total pipe dream. I know people that did it, you know, and I still know my way around the kitchen and in the oven, and I could freaking deck out anything. And I want to start making my friend like fancy, like stuff that takes days to make, you know, like they do on the Bear. I want to learn how and just do it on a small scale just for me at home and people I love, things like that. But that's a way I can level up. I was making chocolate eclairs when I was in freaking 15, 16. My brother, he was in high school, just out of high school. He was 18, I was 16, something like that. And he asked that I make him chocolate eclairs to make to this wedding and take this wedding, and I did it. And he said, oh, they raved. Everybody loved these chocolate eclairs. He said, I just told him I made them myself. That's just a little insight of what kind of stuff. Anyway, so, and I handle stuff. I can handle situations, you know, I can handle situations when other people are baffled, is what I'm finding. Oh, here's my shopping list. I had it in my pocket. 15 Bartlett tomatoes, I remember that was on it. 15 cucumbers. 6 boxes, yeah, it's fun. So I've been watching The Bear. I was watching The Bear. Now, as it helps, I get a lot of self-knowing through TV shows that I'm drawn to. whether however hokey they are, and I've been drawn to media ever since I was a little girl. I always had like I processed my stress in my stomach, so I'd always have stomach aches in the middle of the night, and I wouldn't wake anybody up. I'd just get up and I'd go watch Turner movie classics, and I love just watching all the old stuff, all of it. My Little Margie, I Married Joan, stuff that, like, it's so cool. My Earth Angel, we talk about stuff, and I talk about stuff that she watched when she was a little girl, So it's just my frequency is, I got a wide bandwidth. My autistic spectrum is, my bandwidth is broader than most. And so, interesting. So, been watching The Bear, and I like to watch an episode before Mom gets up, because I just kind of stand there and I take it in. Mom watching it too. We'll watch the same. I'll go back and watch the first. I love this show. A guy I knew from Omaha, talented young man. I think he's a Pisces. Vinny. I saw on Facebook. When he did a post, because I watched it after it like came out in the big flash. I came late to the Bear party. But my buddy Vinny evidently had, because I don't follow people on Facebook either. I just check in on them when I feel inclined to see how they're doing when I'm thinking about them. And the dude that plays the Bear, Carmi, studied under my buddy Vinny at some restaurant or institute out in California, and they're all buddied up. Hey, look at us, we're friends. I've known people that have done like really influential things. My most karmic relationship, I peeked in on her not too long ago. She cut Ed Sheridan's hair. She got like in the locker room and beyond, But she still has to sleep next to a scumbag every night. It's a weird trade-off, But we'll talk about that later. I'm going to dedicate a special video for her husband, Bobo. In honor of Cornhusker Roundup. Yep. So, going to the grocery store, it was good. It's good practice for me to be in the world, again. And if I'm representing somebody else, I have a tendency to be on better behavior. I'm not always on my best behavior of and by myself, man. I get cranky. I get crabby. Yesterday, I had an encounter with this scumbag at ABC Locksmith here in town. There's the what I say, and there's the what I say in the car ride on the way home, what I should have said. And I thought about what my should have said would have been, and it's freaking hilarious. I come up with this stuff, and then I come home and I give them to Mom like bits, right? And Mom laughs a lot, so hopefully I'll help make her live a nice long time. Huh, Ma? Laughter is the best medicine. So this guy, he's like, all of these things that are just really unattractive. Like, I don't know what nationality he was, but he was the kind of like really, like, I think maybe I was trying to go in my head to think of how many, because it took me a second. He's a redhead. He was a redhead, but it was like the darkest red hair. And it looked like lion mane, and he was really freckly. So he kind of looked like an animated creature. AI lives in people. My mind does really cool stuff. This next part of this Aquarian age is going to be real interesting for Marjo. And so he was a douche to me. He was a dick. He declined my business. He refused my service. Told me to get off his property. I was like, I'll be fucking glad you went in on him, landed, and I said something about his grand obesity, and he said, well, look at your gut. Okay. I say, you got me. You got me. And I had a tank top on, right? And I've been doing sets of 300 with my 20-pound weight for a week and a half now, and I have seen direct results, right? I am, for 49-year-old woman, I am solid. I am a solid, my legs are solid. I'm kind of a little boulder, yeah? So this guy says, well, look at the gut you're carrying. And I'm doing like a body scan, my good Heyoka body scan. And I'm like, okay, you got a fat head. You got a fat neck. Your fucking tits are bigger than mine. You got a gut. You got a freaking ass. You got thighs. You got fat calves leading down into your cankles. And I bet you got fat toes too. But yeah, you're right. I got a gut. You got me. Yep, I got a gut. I surely do. But it hadn't been that long. I was probably older than he is now. 42 years old. I had an 8-pack. I did not take one picture. I did never in that time, because I wanted to leave that part just in my memory of like a personal accomplishment without having it digitally imprinted for all access. It was, but I had like because I had to freaking every 3 days, I got the car repoed. It's all in my past. It's all in the talks. But people are just getting crabby. And I'm glad that my friend just gets to make her dough. And I'm gonna, you know what, Ma? She's gonna teach me how. Yeah, she's gonna teach me how, because you have to make it in cool conditions. And so yesterday I thought about it, and I'm like, I make cookies, you know? I said, I could do that, like in the morning, make a big batch satchel of dough for her pastries. And they are so, her dough, when it puffs up, the layers on it, it's Ma got a quiche for dinner. She ate the whole freaking thing, man. How's your stomach feel, okay? It's okay? Because Mom gets older, and Mom had 6 inches of her lower colon cut out. That was life experience. I thought she was gonna die. That was more scary, as like risky, of me having to just go and lay in bed with her while she was incapacitated than when she had her stroke, because she was in the hospital for like 38 days. It was over a month. I've almost lost her so many times. It's a miracle. She's a miracle. And people don't recognize that. And I think that if they did, maybe they'd help me make it a little bit easier to provide a comfortable living environment, that I'm not in stress, because when I get in stress, she gets in stress, and that's where cancer comes from. And bless and release, huh, Ma? Yeah? Ah, yeah. So I get to learn how to make dough, and then people are gonna come all over, and they're gonna touch and eat dough that Heyoka made, and I'll put blessings, positive, and because the world's gonna need it this next part, man. It's gonna need it this next part, and I just want to take a moment, because for years I've been real hostile to law enforcement, and I'm gonna do a 180 today and just take a moment and say a prayer for those fucking goddamn blessed, those dumbasses out there that are trying to freaking, either they're a scumbag or they're trying to get a scumbag off the street, you know, either way. There's a lot of people out there trying to keep the peace. And I'm trying to help teach people how to find the peace inside to create the peace externally. And I know what it's like to have the rage. I rock every day. I'm always doing this. I'm autistic. That's what we do. We are doing this so we don't put our stuff on you. So we don't pick things up and break them. I'm fighting myself every day to live against my natural desire just so I can show people that you don't have to put hands on people and be violent because you hurt inside. Ask for a fucking hug. Excuse me a moment. I need to blow my nose. So when I was in the shower today, I've been in Observance. Fuck the 4th of July. We'll talk about that later. But I got some listening to Lady Duchovny today. She had an interview with this woman, and it was so remarkable the knowing that she gave me. Well, one woman, she just nonchalantly said, when people are overweight, they're mad at their mother. And I started thinking about it. And it just all went like dominoes falling down. And I was like, holy shit. Ma, I ain't mad at ya. I love you, Ma. You're my best friend, little lady. I ain't mad at Ma. I've been mad at Ma. I've been I've been almost 200 pounds. Right? And I started thinking about it. My brother's mad at Ma. And he's always had weight problems. It was such a trip. And then I'm like, okay, well, what is it if you're mad at your dad? Because my dad was an absentee father. He's still an absentee father. I call him on Father's Day. He's going through his own shit. I always got to understand that. He's an Aries. I am him. And he's done a lot of stuff that he doesn't love himself. So when he looks into my face, I remind him of him and the mistakes that he made, and he don't want to be reminded of that pain, and I can understand that. I'm a Heyoka, I understand fucking everything, man. But it still cheated me out of a relationship with the father figure my whole life, and then that my brother watched. Well, you treat her like shit, I can fucking shit all over her too. And then dudes have been like, I've been an asshole magnet my whole entire life. And what my lesson from what I get from Lady Duchovny is like, okay, so if I'm mad at my dad, for me it's my anger. It's my anger. I just can't do anything like him. I hear his voice out of my mouth. I don't want to say the things that he says. You doing okay, Ma? You need some water? You want me to turn this fan off? Is that better? Everything I do is better. I do something, any minute thing. Is that better, Ma? I'll shift like the fan like a... Yep, it's always better. So, and I started thinking about all these other women in my life. I'm like, ooh, I get how they're mad at their mom too. I gotta tell them stuff. Because that's a lot of, dude, weight is about emotions and feelings. It's not about, well, it has to do with how you move your body and stuff like that. It does. But a lot of it is like, your metabolism is mostly about how you process based on emotions. We're just a little factory. And our output, what are we doing with it? Are we doing good shit or are we doing ego shit? We're going to find out. The whole world is erupting in ego shit. So every time I don't respond in anger, And I'm starting to respond more corny, but I still have my moments. That's for sure. But today I had more positive encounters, and and my buddy, my friend, she was even like, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm good." You know, I was just like, I had to go because by the time, I love the little back roads. It reminds me of toys through Taos, like the ones, so I can get to her restaurant and to the store and like miss all the shit downtown. And it's a nice, quiet little doo 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 drive, doo 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 doo, in my little beeper mobile. And it was late, so I got, because the dogs are like eaten by the time, and I was still at unloading food. I said I just put everything in the walk-in, but it's cool. It turned out to be a good day. Huh, Luna? And it's where we are, it's relatively cool. I got all the fans on. I got an extra fan on, the one in the kitchen's on now. And I felt less stress having to leave mom. I didn't even have to turn on a camera today. Well, I didn't turn on a camera. The landlady's staying out here, so. May I give you a kiss because you are a pretty lady? So, things are shifting, you know? Life is always bittersweet for me. You know? I just see I just have always kind of seen how things go in life, and you know, I try to see the beauty in all of it. I really try. I really try to see the beauty in all of it. There's just so much tragedy in life too. But I think I'm coming to, however, I think I'm coming to a place that I'm making friends in real life. And if I just have a couple things to do at my leisure without like pressure and stress, you know, I can freaking clear off this whole counter and have this whole space. It'll be cool, you know. Maybe I'll just do, and I can make my canna. I'll make like decadent canna desserts, ma. I'm gonna do it up, ma. Chef Heyoka. Just call me Hey Marge, please. But so the bear, I did want to address some things in that. I was always the alcoholic for 13 years. I found the medicine and the spirits when I was 15. No, I found it when I was much younger than that. I always tasted it beers when I was little girl. I was always acting, playing. Look at me, I'm an adult. And then when I was 12, I tasted Papa's Canadian Mist whiskey when I went to visit him in Pine Top, Arizona. I've been a whiskey girl ever since. I'm a whiskey. I like Oblivion, dude. If we're gonna do this, the places Marge's mind would take people, they would just. I've had a good life. So I was the drunk, and I got sober after I hadn't drank. So I was like 28, 2002. I'd gotten sober, and then I drank. I was sober for 14 years, and then started drinking alcohol again when I moved to Oregon. I didn't have a slip. I freaking blew my life up. In congruence to what I was just talking about the whole, you know, the places my mind will take me. But just learning life, it's all documented here in the last 7 years, 6 years of videos I've done. This is like my fifth step on a frequent basis. This is where I keep my inventory, my side of the street clean. This is where I tell my side of the story, because out there ain't nobody give a shit. Ain't nobody really care here. I mean, no, that's not true. I've met a lot of very, very wonderful human beings. I haven't met them, but I've connected with people on this channel that have been lifelines for me over the last year. And it was good to see Stacy last night. And so I hadn't been, ever since I was a little girl, I hadn't been around a whole lot of drunks because, you know, in sobriety, you don't hang out with a lot of drunks. And when those occasions that I did, I get really annoyed. And so, and then even when I drank, I didn't like to be around other people that were drinking. And it's just, it's such a gross thing to me. To me, it's, I don't care what your life lessons, I'm not, what other people choose to do is not on me. So, I've been seeing more and more like the actual effects, not just reading about the effects or hearing about people's story about their version of the effects, but like watching stories like that, you know. And my sister died because of addiction and that junkie lifestyle, you know. But I wasn't really touched by it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm almost, she died last year, but you know, but like, so I was, and my brother, well, he drinks and he says things he doesn't mean. So he does that, you know, addiction behavior. And I don't. And it's so weird how it's like, haha, you get what you got, Marge, you know? Like later in life, I'm getting back what, you know, that like scaring people and, you know, like living, I don't know. That's why I don't do it no more, because I'm so sorry about shit I did. So, fucking cancer season, man. Shit. Alright, so watching that show and watching her mother, their mother's, I watched an episode today. It was like a holiday dinner, 260 something, 4 weeks or something before opening, so they went back in time. And, it was, I like how they did it. I'm gonna go back and watch it again. Um, and that's like why everybody is so fucking high strung and wound tight. It's because mom was a lush, and you got to be on your best behavior, and I could identify so much of why I act like that. But for me, it was different. Mom didn't drink and do drugs. Mom didn't drink and do drugs. It was just keeping mom happy, because if she got stressed out. See, because she was so, I don't know the circumstances of my birth, and she was so stressed out. Like, my father wasn't there when I was born, and I never got the story. But I guess it's a common story. I don't know. But I was just always told that it was this one way, and then that was a lie. So there's always been this Scorpio moon shroud of what the fuck, you know, around my birth. And ain't nobody talking. And, so he, and I was 10 months old. They had to keep mom in bed rest as long, and then but she wouldn't go into labor. They kept putting off labor because my lungs were undeveloped. I had Addison's disease, because when I was just dating, she was so stressed out. My body, my spirit, my essence coming into this world was sustaining her. So I was a little baby, 6 pounds 4 ounces. She'd give me baths in a mixing bowl, a little mixing bowl. I was a tiny little baby, and I'd see other little babies, and I'd see, you know, I'd ask other people how tiny their baby, you know, 6 pounds 4 ounces. It's a little baby, and I didn't complain much. I'm making up for it now. But so that puts a lot of, you know, I've been a nervous wreck ever since, and I still have learned to never freaking put my hands on somebody out of anger. You just don't touch somebody when you're mad. So, oh, that's the note I made. I said mothers love people, it's a weight issue. Fathers, for me, this is me. I'm not talking about, this is me. Father's approval when I was younger, that manifests in anger for me. and out and acting out. Because my whole life I've seen guys like strong arm shit to get their way, and so I mean I know I could play that role. I just want to, I want to be able to navigate through life based on the fact that I'm a good, decent person. I don't want to manipulate people and things like that. You know, I don't have to freaking use my word spells to get my way. You know, I want to help people out, and I want people to help me out when I need it, and that's about it. Pretty girl, you got thirsty firsties. So, anyway, I think that's about all I got for now. Hope you have a rad day. Wait, is that all I was saying? No, I wasn't done with the bear. So, like, I'm grateful that God has delivered us from so much evil. Ego. Easing God out. Just people drinking, drugging, and carrying on. I gave a kid today on my way into Albertsons. He was outside. He's like, "Excuse me, do you have any change?" He was trying to clean up in the hose. And I said, "Give me a minute." And I went around the corner and I looked in my wallet and I was like, "All right." Because my friend just gave me lunch, so I didn't have to spend. I had lunch money, so I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna give old boy. I'm gonna make his day." So I went around the corner. I gave him $20. I said, "Dude, that is not for blues." I said, "Stay away from those blues. Stay away from that shit. That is not for blue." And I said it like, and he's like, "It's not for blue." He said, "It's not. It's not." I said, "It's not for that." I said, "I don't care. You know, I hate that those fentanyl pills, man. They're sucking souls daily. Doesn't matter the freaking color of your skin. Doesn't matter your economic background. Doesn't matter. People are, and it's like, I heard a story the other day. It was a heartbreak. It was on one of the way into, spending time with my buddy Reg that whole suburban trip the other day. But I got to hear a story about how this young woman, mother of 7, is like on the street with her 7 kids. Thank goodness the weather's nice and like monsoon season hadn't it hit, like, so they can camp and shit. Cause the place where they were staying, it was like a cousin or some shit, and they were like leaving to go do something. And they could smell it. I guess you can smell it. It has a certain smell. I don't want to smell it. If I ever smell it, I'm going to be sad. I don't want to be acquainted with that smell ever of fentanyl. Because it's predominant where I live. Because people don't know how to talk about their feelings and their emotions, and everybody wants oblivion. Instead of working for a better freaking life. It's sad. It's always been like this. It's just all the clocks are beginning to sync up on the wall. So it's like everybody is coming up to the plate. Okay, are you going to go with God? Good orderly direction. Take a step to the left, please. All right. Are you going to go with ego? Easing God out. Go ahead. Live every way. Do that best life. Get that bow tie. Do everything. Go travel around here. Do that. Why all these people are just sad and don't have nobody to listen to? To the right. There's so many to the right. Fast cars. Everywhere I see it. Ego, 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 ego. I know it because I live that way. 13 years. I didn't care about nobody but me and my dog. No, that's not true. I cared about a lot of people. I just didn't show up like I do now, pretty much. I just never was on the right path of being the best version of me. That's for sure, so. But seeing that on the show just reminds me, Marge, whenever you get thirsty, whenever you think you want some beer, a good old Blue Moon, or like 8 with orange, and I would do it up, dude. I would do it up now, but just play the tape through, Marge, where it takes you. I don't get up. I'm evil. I'm toxic. I turned into like shit stains like the dude next door. I get dirty. I get unkept, I get unmotivated, all that stuff. So I'm gonna go the left, good orderly direction.